I'm Adalnio Senna Ganem, Consul General of Brazil in Miami. Well, I love Miami. It's not the first time I have been here. 10 years ago, I passed by 1 year, less than 1 year, when I opened the Brazilian consulate in Atlanta, but the city is completely different now. It's a metropolis. I meet like 2 or 3 times a day some members of the community, leaders of the community. I had meetings with a group many times, or many groups, all the chambers of commerce, Brazil, Florida, chambers of commerce, and with people from the segment of education, culture. We have a very intense cultural activity in Miami, so there are many Brazilian artists, professionals that work here, entrepreneurs, so I have met hundreds of people. Well, maybe I could explain a little bit our strategy to you. I arrived here in Miami and I found a consulate very well structured, and I thank my predecessor. So there is a huge, intense activity of Brazilians in the Brazilian community in Miami. Possibly one of the most important, possibly and certainly one of the most foreign community here, with 300,000 people. Very high talented people, entrepreneurs, a lot of Brazilian investments. Brazil is the main trade partner of Florida. 2 million Brazilians visit Florida every year. I think it's the largest community. But I saw there was not awareness of the importance, of the relevance of this partnership. And this is our strategy. Of course, that we continue to offer, or trying to offer better services for our community. But besides that, I think that we have to update the perception, how we see each other as Brazilians see Florida, and as Americans and other people that live here see Brazil. And this is our strategy, long-term strategy. And for this, we are planning many, that I will tell you later as we talk, many activities that could change this perception or update this perception. It's a huge operation. Possibly is the second largest consular Brazilian operation abroad, after our Consulate General in New York. But I would say that in fact we work as hard as Brazilian Consulate in New York with less people, because this maybe there was an evolution, very recent evolution, as I mentioned to you, of Brazilian investments here, Brazilian participation in Florida, and we are even trying to reinforce our staff here. It's a very diverse profile, people from everywhere, from every profession, very integrated in Florida society, and with the Americans, with the other communities, working very hard. Recently, there were a group of entrepreneurs, a very large group of entrepreneurs coming to Miami, and also high talented professionals working at the hospitals, at the universities, at the schools, as lawyers, as consultants, in the financial sector. So it's a very, very diverse community. It's very positive, the economic climate. In fact, the Brazilians are contributing to this very positive scenario here in Florida. Only to mention a number, in 2015, Brazilians bought $2 billion in properties in Florida. It was the largest community buying property, or the largest amount of volume of money invested in Florida and in real properties. There is really a huge participation. This scenario is very positive. We adapt very well to it. We are very similar, very similar. Well, as I mentioned, the consulate is very well structured, but of course there is always space to be better, to offer better services for our community. Besides that, I found that many, and this is a challenge, many leaders or many institutions of our community do not integrate with one another. So they do their job, they do the activities, but individually on an isolated way, let's say. We are trying to integrate all institutions, all leaders, and working together to achieve, as I mentioned, as my philosophy, a better result. And besides that, I also mentioned to you that we have to update our perception. Brazil, they still think that Florida is a destination for tourism, and here in Florida, especially Americans, especially up north, they do not have the awareness of the Brazilian contribution and the possibilities of our partnership that are huge. The partnership is already very deep, very intense, but we can even better it. In fact, the Brazilian presence in South Florida is already very important. We will have the presence of many companies in food processing, catering, Embraer, the aviation industry is here with 4 plants, and many other sectors, finance, technology. In fact, we could benefit from the developing technology of Florida, and this is why Embraer is here, because there is a cluster of technology and aerospace industry here. And also steel, many companies in many segments. I think that's a very positive environment for Brazil in Florida, and I know that you are developing here in Florida also the health segment. Besides the technology, those are some of the main sectors. We could benefit in having partnership with Florida in those segments, for example, and there are plenty of possibilities.